this is Sarvat Hussain, British Pakistani journalist. I'm here with a new episode of Unfiltered with Aziz, and I have with me the award-winning political analyst with the Dawn, Mr. CurrentNN, and I also have very familiar TV anchor, Mr. Ismail Qasim. So today's program, we look into downfall of Imran Khan, a true cricket legend. What factors led him to be where he is today? So I start with you. What do you think, Mr. CurrentNN? What led him where he is today?
Yeah, I sincerely hope that Mr. Imran Khan finds out a day to think what really led him to this position from top to bottom, and with probably seeing no immediate future in politics. But you see, his downfall story begins from his ouster from the Prime Minister house almost some 13-14 months back. From that point, he started the mantra against the establishment, the popular one, which earlier started off by Nawaz Sharif. Nawaz Sharif got its fruit. I think somehow Imran Khan got carried away with that thing. He thought where Nawaz Sharif left off, I should pick that thing from there, and he gone for extra mile, and that extra mile cost him dearly, unfortunately. At no point of time he stopped and reflected what he been doing. You know that thing, because he has massive popularity even today. Still we believe he has, but no point at time he thought that this could lead to this situation which he is facing today. If I go by a couple of points, if I mention that led his downfall. The first one, which I believe is that is of what he did. He started that anti-establishment narrative. Fine. Very soon he should have switched over to that political one. I mean, his political opponent, the PDM parties, should have been his prime rival, not the establishment. Everybody knows that establishment is powerful here, so no need to every time stoking against the establishment. So coming back to the point, that thing led him to believe that whatever happening is here, politicians are nothing. But I think after having and grabbing that popularity or that mass appeal among the masses, he should have thought about landing into the political arena. And finally, you see, he never consulted his political friends. He always thought that he should go to the advice of his military friends. And you see, when you keep taking that thing, so eventually what happened on May 9, we can say it. And second,
sorry, I just want to add something in 9th May. It was very, the whole world obviously witnessed after 9th May. There's so many political members of PTI being arrested, and then they were bailed out, and it was very, I would call it, surreal and dramatic exit from PTI members from PTI, the way they held the press conferences and all that. I would like to ask Ismail Qasim your view on that. What do you think about that scenario?
To discuss that, we need to just head back a little 12-14 months back to where Mr. CurrentNN initially started. And I would want to also add something to the part where you stated that what led to the downfall of Imran Khan. To begin with, you need to understand that the institutions that are running a democratic nation state or any other society, you need to give them importance. It's okay to say and use it as a political narrative that the institutions are not running, partially or unpartially, you can say that. But at the other hand, when you start to think that you are the institution in your own self, that is where the problem starts to begin. Understanding the fact that yes, you took out a narrative that there was the American involvement in the regime change operation, and you wanted to give out a political narrative that the imported Hukumat na manzoor. You did not want to give respect to the current sitting government. But that was obviously not going to work out, because eventually the sitting prime minister belonged to an opposition party. Not the opposition party for you, but obviously the sitting government was the prime minister of Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz. Other than that, all the sitting ministers belong to a specific party one way or another. So it was all the PDM that was leading forward the government. So you could have used that narrative, but you did not do that, and eventually you turned back on that. For a year and a half, you said, I will not talk to them and I will not talk to the establishment. Then when you realized your mistake, that everything is going away from my hands, you wanted to talk to them. What about the masses that you had stated and told them to follow you for the past year and a half, that we will not be talking to them, and eventually you want to talk to them, you want to have a discussion with them, eventually it did not work well for you as well.
Yeah, you're right,
At the other hand, when you stated that the imported Hakumat was, a result of the American intervention in the politics of Pakistan, you forgot that the America is the global power and they sort of make the decision making, and we have been dependent on them one way or another for aid, for military help and other factors as well. So you cannot just, it's a foreign policy suicide if you try and take out and cut relationships with the Americans. So these are just a couple of factors. I think it will just be, we will be short on time if we start to dissect each and every single factor individually as to what led to the downfall of Imran Khan. About the, the resignations that came out, which you stated right now, what else could have been done when you just went on headbang with the establishment? This is the outcome.
Yeah, obviously it was well witnessed by whole world and obviously by Pakistan how ill-advised Imran Khan was in all these political scenario, what's going on, what happened with him. And obviously we all seen how he became isolated, everybody, the important members of PTI left him. So it was quite, in a way, actually, it was quite sad to watch what happened with him. So Mr. Zulkarnain, if you want to, I also want to talk about one of the factor everybody talk about, or rather speculation about Imran Khan, is he has kind of became very superstitious with kind of following his third wife, Busha Bibi. So what would you say on that, Mr. Zulkarnain?
Yeah, you see his continuous suicidal steps appear to be superstitious. Like you see, PTI was the biggest party in the parliament with 155 seats, and once defection took place 14 months back, it was simply 20 people left him, and it was a party with 135 seats in the National Assembly.
Very true.
Much larger than the second runner, that is PML Noon, with 81 seats. It was a suicide when he said we're resigning from it. Next suicide he committed in the form of dissolving the Punjab and the KPK governments. Punjab, earlier they were used to say that Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif is running the government in the radius of 27 kilometers. That is Islamabad they were talking about. And we are ruling in Punjab, that is of 120 million people. So you see, those are suicidal steps indicative of the mindset of a superstitious guy, as is being suggested by many quarters. And many blame Busha Bibi, his third wife, for his political demise at the moment. You never know, tomorrow he up again, and maybe day after tomorrow, and so on and so forth. But the thing is this, unfortunately, that he always kind of credulous guy, the person who believes in kind of superstitious things and whatever the people saying around him, and he never deduce what the judicious step I should take for my country first, because Pakistan comes first, and for my party. And you see that we never seen that. We saw a kind of urgency in the camp of Imran Khan.
Yes, I would say there's no stable move we have seen as a leader of a PTI, as a Pakistani, citizen. We have not seen any stable move. What would you say on that, Ismail?
Obviously, stability has been lacking in the country for over 75 years. When you talk about decision making of Imran Khan, obviously stability has not been there. He has taken decisions, and eventually he has to take his words back, because he claims that this is what amazing or big leaders do. So that is up to his to think and reflect upon whether that has been one of the cases or one of the reasons that he is where he is today. On the other hand, when you talk about Imran Khan overall and what you stated over here, him being a superstitious personality, there are two things. Either you can lead a revolution and be a revolutionary, or you can understand that the political system has its limitations, and you need to stay inside the parameters or the boundaries that have been awarded to you by the constitution of the country. I found a lot of confusion over there. One day he wanted to lead the Arab Spring sort of revolution in Pakistan. He wanted the masses to come out, follow him, go all out against the establishment, and he was taking names openly, and he was stating in one of his conferences that if they are calling you, you should call them back. If they are abusing you, abuse them back. Stuff like that, XYZ. At the other day, when he sleeps and he wakes up and he tells that nobody wants to talk to me, I've been trying to contact them, I want to sit with them. And what is that all about? Either you can lead a revolution and tell them that I will not be talking to you, or you can sit with them and follow the process that has been going on in the country for over 75 years. So that confusion, so somehow I could not understand it, the masses could not understand it, and obviously sure as hell we know that the institutions did not take that and did not allow that to continue.
Yeah, I would also want to talk over on this issue. Do you guys think if he will come back again? We all know that he was the most popular leader in Pakistan, and he's an iconic person because of cricket legend in the world. And whole world is watching because they also have interest in Imran Khan. They all know him as a cricketer. So what do you think? Whether he would have come back again, and he would be famous again like he was before 9/11?
Right. You see, anything is possible in Pakistan politics. We've been seeing this for decades. But in case of Imran Khan, appears to be coming a few years, I guess, maybe a couple of years, very tough for him, for his political career. Whether he goes behind bar and stay there for 3 years, for 5 years is a question to be answered later. But the thing is this, Imran Khan needs to come out of that narcissism. He is, victim of self-love and extreme self-love. That you see, we see the situation he is in. One major factor, contributing factor, is of his narcissism, this extreme self-love of him. I think he should come out of that. He should think that politician for you see achieving greater goal or target, you have to be in the ring. What he been doing for the last, we see especially for the last 14 months, we have witnessed that he been doing that. Either I should be in the ring alone, or I should be out of the ring.
There should be no ring at all.
No ring at all. So that doesn't. You have to change the system. But remember this: while staying in the system. It can't happen that you just exit the system and you say I'm gonna change it, sitting maybe abroad, sitting outside somewhere. That never happens. So he needs to. At the moment, he has a huge club in terms of fan-following club, but in terms of the party, he never had what I believe, and still he doesn't have. He needs to build a political party, a real political party. He had many parachuters with him, sent by the establishment. They left him at the moment. And for my side, the concluding point, yes, he has a fair chance, maybe down the road, 3 years, 4 years, but if he changes his style of politics,
Ismail, what do you think?
Obviously, by looking at the history of Pakistan, you can never count a politician out, or any prime minister for that matter. They haven't been able to complete one tenure in over the course of 75 years, but you see them falling out, running out of the country, self-exile, or being exiled by the establishment, or there are other factors too. But eventually they stay out, the next tenure falls in place, 3-4 years complete, and eventually you see them coming back. So this has been the history that we have seen for the last 75 years. In the case of Imran Khan, he has a lots of following, and I will not be counting him out at all. He will be making a comeback, but not anytime soon.
Yeah, but I also think Imran Khan was the person who introduced the culture, the very personal, the conversation, and also, the verbal culture. What do you think over that, Suzukanan?
He has massive appeal for the people here, you see, and his popularity no time around is dwindling. That fact is there. But the thing is how he has to channelize his popularity.
Very good point.
Like, unfortunately, what we saw in the form of the May 9, that should never at any coming point of time replicated that. So I think now he needs to to do something. If he thinks that the establishment is the main target, then what about? You see, an unfortunate aspect for me, like that he strengthened the PDM, which even PDM could have tried for years to come, never could have strengthened politically that much, which Imran Khan has made it by his steps, by his foolish steps, unfortunately I would say it.